Hello and welcome back to the Travelling Bum podcast with me, Daisy Ayres. It is so good to be back for season two. In all honesty, I never intended for the break to be this long, but there just wasn't a lot happening in the past months, and I didn't want to come on without having much to update you on. So I wanted to wait until there was actually movement and actually things happening so I could come on and give you one, a real update, and two, let you come along on the next part of the journey with me. So, hello, if I've got any new listeners, thanks for joining. If you haven't yet listened to season one, maybe go back and listen to that because season one follows my migration journey from the point of starting the whole migration process all the way through to lodging our 190 visa application. So, if you want to know my full journey, or if you are actually someone that's interested in making the move to Australia, I would recommend going back and listening to season one because I cover all of those things in that first season. Now we're moving into season two, we are getting closer to making the move. So, a quick update on where we're at. We submitted our 190 visa application in October 2023, about 9 months ago now, and we are actually still waiting for our 190 approval. However, we are moving in 4 weeks' time. So it is getting so close now. You're probably wondering, have we got a visa? The answer's no, but I'm remaining positive. Our intention had always been to enter the country on a working holiday visa. So, for anyone that doesn't know, on the 1st of July 2024, the UK and Australia started a new trade agreement whereby people from the UK who are eligible for a working holiday can actually apply for up to 3 years working holiday without doing their regional work. So, Aaron and I have used years one and two. So we are eligible to apply for our third year. We had probably naively assumed that the 1st of July would come, we would apply for our visa, and it would be approved within a matter of hours. That is typically what happens with a working holiday. However, obviously, everyone wants to leave the UK because there has been an influx in applications for the working holiday, and we are now seeing quite big delays with them processing the working holiday applications. It's really quite frustrating because I'm seeing some people that are applying and they're getting their approval like instantly. And then I'm seeing other people like us that have applied and we are just being kind of left, it feels. We're just having to sit here and wait. So we are waiting for our working holiday to be approved. We fly in 4 weeks, so we've still got 4 weeks left. We applied 4 weeks ago, so I would like to think that by 8 weeks, the working holiday has been processed and approved. I'm really doing my best to try and remain positive. I really do believe that everything happens for a reason. I really do believe that what's meant to be will work out for us. And in all honesty, guys, everything so far on this journey has worked out for us. Yes, there have been ups and downs, but eventually everything has all come through. So I really believe that everything will come through for us. So, of course, when we have a visa grant, whether that's the working holiday and or the 190, I will come on and update you. But for the time being, we are just sitting and waiting. So that's where we're at on the visa front. Another big thing that happened since I last spoke to you guys is we actually completed on our house sale. We actually sold our house at the end of April. That was such a huge relief because the house felt like the biggest tie that we had in the UK. Obviously, it's your biggest asset that you ever kind of own in your life. So for us, getting rid of the house was like a big weight lifted off our shoulders. It felt like it gave us a bit more freedom. Obviously, if we hadn't managed to sell our house, we wouldn't be able to leave as soon as we are because we would need to get rid of the house before we could leave. So that was a slightly stressful process in one way, but in another way, we were quite lucky because we had one buyer the whole time and it actually did go pretty smoothly once we got that buyer. But anyone who's ever sold a house will know like it does test your resilience, shall we say. But that's all done and dusted now. When we sold our house, we pretty much got rid of all of our belongings. So we got rid of all of our furniture, our just everything that you own, we basically got rid of. So all that we were left with is pretty much clothes. Admittedly, we do actually still have quite a bit more than what we thought. So we need to do another sort through. And to be honest, I think that I just need to be quite brutal and just get rid of things I know definitely I'm not going to need in Australia. You're probably wondering what's going on with Pepper. She is still flying with Sky Pet Travel. So those of you that listened to season one will remember that I had Joanna on, who is the founder of Sky Pet Travel. And Sky Pet Travel are this amazing service where they offer private chartered flights and your pet can fly in cabin with other humans. If you were to fly your pet on a commercial flight, they would have to go in a crate and be in the hold. Whereas Sky Pet Travel, they don't have to be in a crate except from takeoff and landing, and they are in the cabin. It is just an amazing service. And for us, that was definitely the right service for us to transport Pepper. Pepper is booked onto the flight with Sky Pet Travel on the 1st of September. We actually did have a change in circumstances, and excitedly, I am now actually going to be flying on the Sky Pet Travel flight with Pepper, which is just, I feel so, so fortunate that I'm able to do that. It is a luxury that I know I am super lucky to be able to experience. So, yeah, I will be on the flight with Pepper. So, of course, I will be documenting the whole thing. I'm going to be vlogging. I really want to be able to show what that flight's like because it's such a unique experience. And with regards to Pepper's checks and everything like that, there is so much that is actually needed to import a dog from the UK to Australia. I have said this full time that importing Pepper has actually been the most challenging and stressful part of this journey. I think because there are so many blood tests, vaccinations, checkups, all these things that have to happen, they have to happen at particular times before you are due to fly. And I've just been so nervous about doing something wrong because if you do one thing wrong, it could mess the whole process up. And we have paid the money to put Pepper on that flight on the 1st of September. So I've had this pressure over me of there is no room for mistakes here. Everything has to work out. We did buy the import package with Sky Pet Travel. So Joanna basically has a package that you can purchase. I believe it was £600. It gives you a full breakdown of everything that's needed. Joanna helps you get your RNAT declaration, your import permit, book your quarantine space for you. And she also checks all of your paperwork as you're going along to obviously make sure, as and when you're going to your vet appointments, there are no errors. So for me, it was worth its weight in gold because it's just that reassurance that everything you're doing has been done properly. The last things that we need to do for Pepper, she's got one more external parasite treatment. She's got one more internal parasite treatment, and then 4 days before we go, we are having to take her to an official vet to have her final check. So, what they will do, I believe, from what I've read, is they will go through all of the paperwork of all of the requirements. So, the blood tests that we've had done, the treatments that we've had done, they will go through and check that and make sure it meets the Australian government standards. And then I think they do a health check on Pepper, make sure that there's no visible illnesses or diseases. And they will basically then sign you off. So that I am a little bit nervous for because I'm imagine going to that appointment 4 days before she's due to get on the aeroplane and there was a kind of problem. But I'm telling myself, Joanna's been checking the paperwork all along. Pepper is a healthy dog. It's all going to be fine. I think once I've been for that official vet's appointment, I can probably breathe a sigh of relief because it's fine. Pepper is getting on that flight and everything's all done. Unfortunately, they haven't changed the quarantine rules. So I was hoping by some sort of miracle they would make some changes and reduce the time that Pepper has to go into quarantine, but she does still have to go into quarantine for 30 days. I've had so many people ask me, can you visit her in quarantine? And sadly, the answer is no. So she goes into quarantine for 30 days and we won't see her. So she will basically be taken away when we land in Melbourne directly to the quarantine facility. It is sad that we can't see her, but equally, I do think it probably is for the best because I think it'd be really confusing for her if we were coming and going. At least she won't see us. She kind of hopefully will get used to where she is because she's there for so long. And so many people have told me that dogs have no concept of time. So I'm really hanging on to that. And I've been speaking to quite a few people that have transported their dog over, and they have really reassured me that Actually, the quarantine facilities are amazing. They will send you email updates. If you want to check in, they are more than happy to give you updates by email or over the phone. I even found out, because I was a little bit worried about the food, Pepper can be quite fussy. And also, when typically me and Aaron leave her and go away, she doesn't eat. So I'm thinking, for 30 days, what's the food situation going to be? So I did ask Joanna. She sent me a list of what they are fed. And she did also say, if you are worried about your dog not eating, if they're not eating, or if you just want to treat them, and I thought this is so cool, you can actually pay to have them have like roast chicken delivered. So I think we'll definitely be doing that. So that's Pepper. She obviously hasn't got a clue what's going on. She doesn't know what's around the corner and what's to come for her, but she's fine. Everything's like in process for her. So that's all good and in place. One of the things we have done to start preparing for the move now is we actually have converted most of our savings into Australian dollars. So this was something we always knew we were going to do. The exchange rate actually got really good, and we converted our money in July. So the exchange rate went up to 1.93. We use a company that Down Under Centre recommend. They're called Fortuna FX, and it is run by a lady called Leslie. I had seen so many testimonials in the Down Under Centre Club about Leslie, and like anything, I think you're a bit skeptical when you read reviews, like, are people just writing that? Honestly, I'm saying this like hand on heart. If anyone is moving to Australia and needs to convert money into Australian dollars, I cannot recommend Leslie enough. She was so helpful. We've never done anything like this before. It is a little bit nerve-wracking because you are basically transferring your life savings from one currency to another. You don't know how it all works. It just does feel scary. And she talked me through the whole process. She set up a group chat on WhatsApp with me and Aaron. If we had any questions, we just WhatsApped her. She answered us straight away. She talked through what options there are. So she was so helpful. And basically what happens with Fortuna FX is you transfer your money, you obviously convert it from one currency to another, and you get something called a Fortuna FX wallet. So that is where, once you've converted your money, that our savings are sitting. That account is completely ring fenced, so it is completely safe, and you can use it like an account. So if we need to transfer any money in Australian dollars for certain things, then we can do that from our wallet. And what will happen is, once we arrive in Australia, we will then obviously open up a bank account and transfer the money from the Fortuna FX wallet into our Australian bank account. That process was made so easy because of Leslie. It literally was like so quick and easy. I think I spoke to her on the Monday, and by the Wednesday we had everything transferred and sorted. And I'm really happy with the service that we received. So 100% recommend Fortuna FX for any foreign exchange. And the other major thing that I've got to update you on is, this has been the most exciting thing for me throughout this whole process. This is like the best part. We have found an apartment. We had heard and seen all over social media that there is currently a housing crisis in Australia. You cannot find rental properties. They're really hard to come by. Obviously, the rent has gone up. Like the rest of the world, Australia has also been impacted with cost of living. And we were quite nervous, thinking, are we going to find somewhere to live? We've also got a dog. Is that going to go against us? We knew for us, we wanted somewhere to move into straight away. And obviously, we're not onshore. We can't go and do any viewing. So we decided to use a relocation agent from the Down Under Centre. The relocation agent for the Gold Coast is called Becky. And honest to God, I cannot sing Becky's praises enough. Becky's another one that she gets loads of good reviews on the Down Under Centre website and social media. And again, I was like, okay, she must be good at her job. I'll be honest, I was just a bit skeptical to how good can she really be. Let me tell you, Becky is absolutely incredible at her job. I cannot sing her praises enough. She was just amazing from start to finish. Now, I'm not actually going to go too much into our process of finding a rental, because I'm actually going to do another episode on that in this series, because I get asked so many questions about finding a rental through my social media. So I'm going to do a full episode, talk through the whole process of what we had to do and our experience of finding a rental. But I just wanted to let you guys know that we have found somewhere to live. I have already posted some photos of it on my social media, but I'll share a little bit more when I do the episode of how we found a rental. But that to me is just like so exciting. It was the best part of the journey. I think that's mainly it. That is kind of everything that's been going on since we last caught up. So I just wanted to come on for this first episode back and just give you a quick debrief on where we're at. And then as we move through the season, obviously, we'll go into a bit more detail. Next week, I have got a guest coming on. So I've got Darren from Average Joe Down Under. I'm sure lots of you that are listening that want to make the move already follow him. If you don't, go follow Average Joe Down Under on social media. Darren has got so many useful resources to help people making the move. I will then do an update on us finding a rental. And then, really, it's going to be quite a fun series because it's going to be everything in the lead up to us going. So, I'm kind of going to come on weekly and document where we're at, things that are going on, useful tips, things that I've learned along the way. And then we will be in Australia. So, I will obviously be coming on as we arrive in Australia and giving updates then. I've not actually asked her yet, but I also want to get Tate on for another update because I actually have so many of my friends and listeners ask me how Tate's getting on. What I can say is she's doing great, and I really want to get her on for an update because she's been there for about 9, 10 months now. So obviously a lot has gone on, and I'm invested in her journey as well. And I speak to her nearly every day. So Tate hopefully will be coming back on for another update as well. But that's it for now, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening. It's so good to be back. I'm so excited to be able to share updates with you now as we get closer to making the move. Please do go ahead and follow my socials because I will be doing more and more updates, obviously, on my social media channels daily. But that's it. Thank you so much for listening, and I will speak to you guys soon.